Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody. It's your one-stop shop for everything going on with the Burgundy and Gold. I'm Bob Matthews. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a day of our coverage. And you can make that 4 straight now. The Commanders fall to 3-7 as they get thumped by the Lions 44-22. And they were never in this game. I mean, it was really, really ugly. And we are going to get into in just a couple of minutes how ugly it was, just in case you missed any of it. And I got to be honest with you, you didn't miss a whole lot if you decided to go out and spend some of this day, if the weather was nice where you are, enjoying the last few nice days of fall before the temperatures start to drop. Commanders will leave tomorrow for Madrid. They have already opened up as an underdog to the 2-win Miami Dolphins, a team that's probably going to be firing its head coach sometime soon. And yet the Commanders will be an underdog to the Dolphins in Madrid, at least as the line opens today. We got to talk about the defense to start off with, because it wasn't just bad. It was absolutely horrible. The Lions scored on all 8 of their offensive possessions. Let that sink in for a minute. Every single solitary possession. Every time they had the ball, they scored. Well, except for once. That was at the end of the game when they got the ball back with about 2 minutes to go, and they just ran the clock out. Joe Witt's defense literally could not stop the Lions. And the thing about it was the Lions' offense was perfect. Jared Goff had a quarterback rating of like 135. He completed over 75% of his passes. The run game was incredible. Jahmyr Gibbs had 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of them was like a 43-yard romp for a touchdown. Goff was 25 of 33, 320 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a rating of 135.9. They were, let's see what they were on as far as 3rd and 4th down conversions go. Just looking at the score, you know that they were darn near perfect because of the fact that they literally scored on every possession. The last time I had checked it, they were 4 for 6 in the first half on 3rd down efficiency. So 5 for 10 on 3rd downs and 2 for 2 on 4th downs. Again, the only times they didn't convert, they either kicked a field goal twice or just plain ran the clock out. That's all there is to it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I knew it was going to be bad. I didn't know that it was going to be exactly this bad. They figured it out real early, what everybody else figured out, and that's that the Commanders' zone defense that they play on the back end can't cover a crossing route. Just can't do it. And Jamison Williams dinged him for 119 yards on 6 receptions. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 58 yards and a touchdown on 5 receptions. It was completely ineffectual. And that's why, we have to have the conversation now. A lot of you guys have been having it before. I wish that one of the beat reporters would have addressed it and asked it of Dan Quinn in the postgame press conference. Now, it's very easy for me to sit here and say they should have asked that. It was right after the game. They have a working relationship with this team. They're there every day. And so I get it. It's an awkward question to have. It's an awkward question to ask. But this was so far beyond the pale today that you have to ask it. I mean, you can't fire the players. So you've got to do something about this. And they should have asked, is Joe Witt going to keep his job? Is he going to keep calling the defenses? Are you going to make a change at defensive coordinator? Again, I get it. It's 20, 25 minutes after the game's over. But when you give up over 500 yards of offense and when you literally can't stop the other team from scoring, that's just beyond the pale. Von Miller was in the locker room talking about it after the game and said, he said, "Oh, it's not the coaches, it's not the scheme, it's the players. We're not executing." Well, it's the coach's job to get the players to execute. If they're not executing, it's on the players, but it's also on the coaches. If the coaches can't get them to execute, you got to get a coach in there that can. And I know Dan Quinn is a very loyal guy. He brought Joe Witt over from Dallas with him. He thinks Joe Witt's a fine coach, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But come on. I mean, this is the fourth time this defense has given up more than 38 points in a game. It's the second time in a month they've given up more than 40 in a game. Again, it's just beyond the pale. I'm sure he doesn't want to do it, but something has to be done. I mean, it's just not working anymore with Joe Witt calling this defense. I know he came down from the booth this week and was on the field, and it really, it almost seemed worse this week than in the last few weeks. Going back and watching tape the last few weeks, you could pinpoint where, certain guys made glaring mistakes. Whether it was Mike Sanderstill, letting CeeDee Lamb go right by him, and that caused the collision in the backfield between Marshawn Lattimore and Quan Martin. We talked about that ad nauseum. The blown assignments last week. It wasn't blown assignments per se this week. It was. But it was just the Lions just completely dominating them and running roughshod over them. I just don't know what you can do about that other than, make a change at defensive coordinator, because what Joe Witt's doing just isn't working. And the real shame of that is that the offense with Marcus Mariota wasn't that bad. 22 points isn't enough to beat the Lions, obviously, but Mariota was able to move the ball. This offense has been able to move the ball with a better defense, with a few more possessions, with some stops. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say they'd be 7-3 right now, but they'd be a lot more competitive, and I think they would still be in a position where the season's not a lost season at this point. And so, again, for that reason, you're wasting a pretty good offensive effort given the fact that you don't have your starting franchise quarterback, you don't have two of your starting wide receivers, and yet when they had the ball, they ran it fairly effectively, and Marcus Mariota actually connected on quite a few big chunk plays in the passing game. We'll go over the film a little bit more tomorrow and have it better detailed for you. But the defense really did waste a chance. Again, it doesn't have to be the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. It's just got to be competent. And at this point, it's not. And again, not only can you not fire the entire defensive unit, but again, if, like Von Miller says, the players aren't executing, that's on the coaches to do something, teach them something so they will execute. All right, that's going to do it for us. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and drop us a comment in the comment box. What did you think was the biggest reason for the loss? I know that's pretty much of a softball one up there because I know a lot of you are going to be saying defense and Joe Witt. So expound on that for me, and we will talk about it again tomorrow. Thanks for always watching. Remember, like the wise man once said, if you're out on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.